Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, my brothers and sisters, what we're going to talk about this morning is something that I ran across in Politico. Again, keep in mind what we're always saying on this channel. The left-wing media is always going to write to a left-wing audience. They use this well-known fact to moderate opinion and response and reaction. This is something that we used in brutal effect around the early years and early months of the Biden administration around the gun control legislation, H.R. 8, 1446, even as recently as the assault weapons ban of 2022. They will always tell you what they're afraid of and what they're doing, and they will try to moderate reactions from their left-wing base, and that is what I've got for you this morning. This is about polling around gun support for legislation. Again, keep in mind, the far left, the gun controllers, everybody, their main talking points are AR bans, mag bans, extreme risk protection orders for everybody, and universal background checks. Those are the ones they always go with. And they're touting, in this article I'm about to show you, a lot less of an actual reality relating to the population and the voting populace. This is incredibly important to understand. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think on this one. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, Vulcan Arms, and then we're going to dive in. And again, I can't wait to show you what they're actually telling their audience. The Vulcan WeatherTech gun bag has one-of-a-kind technology to help you defeat the elements. Their WeatherLock technology is revolutionizing the way you store your firearms. Whether you're on a trip, at the range, or working out in the field, the WeatherLock series can stand up to the toughest environments. They have a rating of IPX6. This makes them almost impervious to mud, dust, water, penetration from actual punctures. This is something that you need to take a look at. There's a link in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think of not only Vulcan, but also this content. All right, so as I mentioned in the introduction, take a look at what we're about to cover down in the description box, and also keep in mind who their target audience is. This is coming from Politico. They do not write to a mid or even to the right. Check this out. Study shows a majority of gun owners support specific gun safety policies. Now, one of the big things we've seen across the board is there's a lot of propaganda around even gun owners support common sense gun reform. Well, look at what they're actually talking about, and you'll start to see the picture come clear, and this is what they're telling their audience. Check this out. Gun legislation is a polarizing topic, especially on the campaign trail, where it is a longtime staple of attack ads on candidates from both parties. But voter attitudes about gun policy aren't as divided as they seem, according to a study first shared with Politico. Now, this came out today. Again, they're actually going to be angling towards common level stuff, not the far left extreme of gun control. Check this out, because the polling stuff, it's important what they actually ask. A report released Wednesday from 97%, a bipartisan group of gun owners and non-gun owners that conducts research on gun safety policies surveyed 1,078 gun owners nationwide to examine their perceptions of specific gun safety policy details. The study found broad support among gun owners for laws that aim to keep people at high risk of violence from gaining access to guns. Again, very broad, not a lot of specifics, very high level. They didn't mention AR bans. They didn't mention mag bans. There's a reason. Wait till the end. The report found that 3/4 of gun owners are concerned about school shootings, and 71% are concerned about mass shootings. This is the important part, and then I'm going to hit on why this is important in 1 second. 66% are concerned about an increase in gun-related homicides and gun crimes in cities. Over 80% believe people convicted of a violent crime should not be able to purchase or possess a gun. I'm going to break this down a little bit. You notice how all of these things were emotional concerns? They were not actually policy decisions. For example, 71% are concerned about mass shootings. I think that number should probably be 100%. That's a concern. The way that we approach that concern is very different, but that should probably be a concern. 3/4 of gun owners are concerned about school shootings. I would hope that'd be larger too. Everyone's concerned about this. The problem and focus is not on is anyone concerned about this. The problem and focus is on how do we solve this problem? Well, the answer is not massive gun control, as we're about to show even in this report from Politico. These beliefs aren't restricted to Democrats or independents. Republican gun owners hold these views as well. Again, keep in mind, we're only talking about everyone's concerned. That's what they're touting as universal support across the board. So, 40% of the respondents identified as Republicans, in addition to 35% who are Democrats and 17% who are independents. Now, obviously, that's a big percentage of every group. But again, keep in mind, they're referring to the idea that everyone's concerned, not policy decision, because the numbers change significantly when you get to this point right here, and this is why I'm covering this. Red flag laws, universal background checks, required permits for the purchase or possession of a gun, and violent misdemeanor laws are among those that win support from gun owners, according to the polling. Keep in mind, gun owners are not just Republicans, they're not just independents or Democrats. They are Americans. And the details, and we've covered this, when the details are revealed about how red flag laws work, how universal background checks work, and how required permits for the purchase work, all of those things, not only are they unconstitutional and against the law, they also lose massive amounts of support when you actually tell someone what the details are. Notice how they didn't put the percentages in here? Let's keep going. A law prohibiting gun possession by those convicted of domestic violence crime has the highest support among gun owners, 78%. It's already law. Why are we talking about that? Again, they're cherry picking. Republican gun owners support that measure at the same level. Republican respondents also supported prohibiting gun possession by people subject to domestic violence restraining orders, 75%, and requiring background checks for concealed carry permits, 71%. That last one, I have to dive into that deeper because that seems a little high for a background check for a concealed carry permit, especially since 25 out of 50 states, or 50%, are now constitutional carry states. Seems a little high when you look at the actual legislative actions. But let's hit on this other part here. Prohibiting gun possession by people subject to domestic violence restraining orders. This goes under the boyfriend loophole. This goes under the Violence Against Women Act. That's kind of stuff that's already in place. So why are they citing it? Again, they're not hitting their top button issues. AR bans, mag bans, all those things. Check this out. Here we go. Because this is where it falls apart, and they buried it at the end. But only 1/3 of gun owners support a ban on assault weapons. That support is even lower among Republican gun owners, 16%. 16% of Republican gun owners support a ban on high-capacity ammunition magazines, while 29% of gun owners overall say they support such a measure. So when they get down to the hot-button push of the gun controllers, it falls apart to 30%. And they did not lead with that. They led with, well, everyone has these concerns. Look at these massive amounts of percentages. But then when they get to the policy procedures from the leftists and the gun controllers, all of a sudden it disappears and they bury it at the very bottom of the article. There's value in showing this kind of stuff because it shows you where the populace is actually at against the gun control propaganda. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you tonight in the next episode. I'm Braden. See you later.